Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We're on episode 447 today. I have a package here to unbox. I didn't want to wait any longer because I've actually had the package for over a week, and it is an eBay purchase, so I really need to get it unboxed and make sure that I'm satisfied with how it was shipped. This is a new pencil set for me. I don't own any of these pencils, and it is actually the only pencil set that is on my list, my wish list, that I don't own any of. I have two other sets. I want to complete my Inktense set. I have the 72, but not the new colors that they added many years ago now. And then I have about half of the Holbeins. So this set, it's very ironic because I'm working with you guys on a project using Prismacolor. It's a big sea turtle Kirby page that I am currently on a little break from. I'll give you a little update on what's going on in life. And so this came while I was in the middle of a bunch of projects, and I finally got those projects done, and I told myself I am not going to allow myself to go down the coloring rabbit hole until I finish what I needed to be doing, and I did complete that. So here I am today, actually unboxing this. So this is a used set, but not ever colored with, in a dented case. The price, they are normally $1 a piece. I see some fluctuation a little bit over $150, and then a couple of deals here and there maybe pop up for $140, but never the price for this, for the fact that they supposedly aren't used. They're dented, so who knows if they have, broken cores, all that. It's a risk. So far, I have actually had good luck with buying from eBay where the pencils weren't cared for. And I've still been just fine using them to this day. Maybe a couple where the cores were broke. And then I do have the ability to melt the cores if I want to. So here is the box that she used to pack these in. What I try to do, I myself am a eBay seller, and my rating, I don't know, 500 and something. So significant enough that I have spent years selling. I haven't sold in many years. I used to make my own garments and horsey type, like decal stickers cut on a vinyl cutter. So I used to sell that kind of stuff. And jewelry. I sold some jewelry. Did a lot of buying. And so this person had a ranking that was high enough. And they also are selling other crafting supplies. If they don't have any crafting supplies, I'm a little bit nervous about buying from them. Let's see if I can actually show you vertically. Oh, I can't. We're not tall enough. So let's see if I can give you. So we've got some foam. This is a very large tin, as you can imagine, because it's 150. And so she's got foam, she's got tissue, and the whole thing is in bubble wrap. So I'm pretty impressed and very satisfied, and I will make sure that I update the review to reflect my satisfaction in how it was all packaged. I have also collected some resources. I will do the test page today with you guys. I have never used these pencils, so just been lurking and reading about them and seeing what people think of them. I know that compared to my Light Fast and Inktense pencils, the diameter of the barrel is going to be narrower. And I know that the quality of the barrel, like the wood quality, might not be what I am used to. So this is a very significant case. And here is, we will unpackage it and I'll show you the dent. And then we will dig in. For all I know, she bought these and got her money back or something and decided not to use them and wanted to sell them. Who knows? Maybe she got a replacement and they told her to keep these. So here is the dent. And from my first glance, they look fabulous. They look to be in color family order. Whoops. And then I go and fling them onto the floor. Let's give them a sniff. They have a very lovely soft wax smell. Some pencils don't have any smell. Castle Arts have the strongest smell. They even make me sneeze. These have just a very pleasant smell. And it is 3 very large trays. Let's take a peek at the barrels. I have, do I have them close by? I'm going to pause and go grab my Inktense and my Lightfast pencils so you can see the difference in the barrels. All right, I am back. Here are, that's the Lightfast in the middle. We have Inktense. They have a blue barrel on the right, and here is the Svelte Chromaflow on the left. The barrel, the core sizes, looking straight down. Certainly the Chromaflow on the left is smaller. I would say 3.3 to 3.5, and the 3.8 to 4 millimeter are the two on the right, which are the professional ones. I like the easy to read. Even the upper and lower case is very easy to read. We've got numbers, which I didn't know if they were numbers because I went ahead and downloaded 2 swatch charts, and those don't have their numbers. I tend to be a number over a name person, so when I do my swatch chart, I will absolutely log the number for reference. My chart choice for these this time I downloaded from Rachel Henderson. Thank you, Rachel, for making all of the charts that you do. She also has a a Chromaflow to Prismacolor conversion chart that is available on her coffee shop. And then I also downloaded for nice color family sets to have as a reference for doing color combinations. Color with Claire did her own. I'm not going to use this to do my color matching swatch chart because it's color families, and then there's like one set of yellows here going to a brown, orangey brown, and another set of yellows here. So that's why I had to pull Rachel's chart, which is all of the yellows in ascending from lightest to darkest, switching out to the oranges to the reds, your typical color family order. So I will be using that chart to do my blank color matching swatch chart. I'm going to grab my sunset and a blue, and we will get to work on my practice page. And as I'm doing my practice page, I'll catch you guys up on life here at the Color Me This household. So I'm going to use lemon, and I'm just going by the barrel tips. I do like that they used gold. It gives them these pencils a more formal, fancy, high-end look. Here is going to be our test page for the orange. So we could see what these look like. I don't see another, this looks a little mustardy. So I might see how that goes. But Who knows? All right. I'm going to bring you guys down close. I've got just today to print out these sheets. I've had my new laptop now, I don't know, since, the 12th, 28th. So 14, 16 days. And I just today had to set up a printer to print these out. So, still getting all that tech stuff figured out. I'm going to leave natural light. I know a lot of times I have been doing my light ring. I think for today we will do natural light. I will be having to go off and get my different blending stumps and things when we get there. But I just want to get some coloring done. I might even just do part 1 today, and maybe I'll do the more advanced coloring. I kind of want to see how they feel and how they do some light layers versus heavy layers, and then not wanting to take too long, I will save part 2, which is when I do a coloring class and with a group and we're doing this for the first time. It's so overwhelming, I broke it into 2 parts. So that's why you see part 1 is the top and part 2 is the more advanced tests, and that is just to not overwhelm brand new colorists. So before we do our sunset blending, I'm just going to do some coloring with Santorini 1250. Have I mentioned how much I love the font choice and the color? Usually gold is very hard to read, but this is fantastic. So we're going to do light layers. I have been doing some coloring with my mom, actually, at her house. Just very casual coloring. And then the one big project, it's a monthly thing that I do for my other channel that I am very much into coloring over my other channel, even though I still love card making. And I actually finished off a weekend of card making that I really desperately, I am so low on inventory of cards, and I have some markets that I do in the fall. It is already the end of July, and I knew between coloring and then doing my new way of eating, doing keto, where I'm making food twice a day from scratch, no boxed foods, I had to spend some time building my inventory. So that's what I worked on, and I did some alcohol marker coloring. Haven't done that in an age. I'll even share with you guys what I did. They are sitting right here. So I will be backing off the excitement. Normally I keep track of my layers. I think that these feel... Now I'm using the Prismacolor, which used to be an intimidating pencil for me coming from the Polychromos world, and I'm really enjoying using them these days. The more you color, the more comfortable you get, especially if you color with a variety of pencils. The more comfortable you get with them. You still have your favorites and everything. Polychromos are a favorite, though I will tell you, in the Small Victories book, I had some issues with their dryness, being that they are silky but not buttery, and on a couple of pages they didn't win. In fact, I don't know that they won any head-to-head competition with the other sets that I used on the page. These have, I would say, they feel more to me like the Light Fast than they feel like a Prisma. Prismas are a little stickier. These are glidey. I would not call it necessarily silky, but definitely glidey. They're even a little bit like a Holbein feel. I don't mind the slender barrel. I'm going to grab, here is the, oh, that is a Chromaflow. Here's a light fast. It is so beefy and big. Yeah, that's what these feel like. Something about maybe the binders in them are the same. They really feel like light fast. Huh. Very nice. Light fast aren't necessarily my most favorite pencil. They can be a little bit tricky to do things with them. Like if you're doing animal portraits, you have to be, it's like you pick them specifically for a function. And it's typically a function of needing a very vivid color. They have a couple of very unique colors on the light end and the dark end that you will go in and use. This is actually doing light layers fantastic. I'm just going in and filling in the tooth. I believe we've almost on, yep, I can see that it's burnished itself without a lot of pressure. If you don't like the burnished glossy look, I actually really like the burnished look. But if you don't, these are going to go and burnish very quickly. Okay, so that was very painless. Light, I used light to light. I never really went to heavy pressure to get this. Some of the pencil sets, you will do some light layers and you'll feel like in order to make progress and not be taking forever, you have to go to heavy pressure. I never felt that. Now let's see if I can use heavy pressure and get this filled in as close to one layer as possible. I see crumbs. I wondered if they would be somewhat crumbly. I still am not I'm not a commitment girl when it comes to the heavy pressure. I like the lighter layers and building up so that I can back off if I decide, let's say I want to change the color. If you've got your heavy layer down, you can't very readily change the color. Oh, but these are a very good light or heavy layer pencil. Recently, so this year, the only pencil that I bought this year, that I acquired this year, they were gifted to me, sent to me for a review by Woomer, and they were very soft and lovely like this as well. I own, I believe, 36 sets of pencils, right? When I add in the professional pencils. I haven't looked at my list lately. 36, so this will make set 37. And 2 of the sets that I told you are on my list to finish collecting are already on that list. So if I'm going to buy any more pencils, it will be something very special or unique, or something for me to test. I love them. These are great. I probably went about a layer and a half here, and I bet you this took 4 or so layers to get 4 to 6 layers light. I won't do any other colors over here with practice because we'll get right into our color combo blend here of our yellow to red. And because I don't trust myself to track properly, and I want to know that these are the colors I used down the road, I need to get a pencil. It should be floating around here. Here it is. Oops. And you can't see my right hand is over. Here's my blend. Lemon 30, mango 0310, clementine 0405, red orange 430, and scarlet 500. I tend to not put the initial numbers. If they put zeros, I don't put zeros. And that's the same on my description, that for the coloring daily colors, I'll omit, you'll notice, I'll omit any codes or any zeros in front. So before we do that, I want to see what these colors look like. Very light. They go down with light pressure so well. So in my rotation, I will go ahead. I'm working on a page in Tiny Tales, and I will probably interject this set and go ahead and work on, we're doing these little houses. I think there's 2 houses to do. Well, one is a house, and the other is like this Japanese wood thing. So we'll see how these measure up in part 2 of this. Oh, beautiful. And I do think that that's a good range for my sunset. And I've altered this. I don't even know what version I have up on my website. This is on the coffee shop. If you want to keep track of your pencils and do all these tests, or adjust the tests however you want, this whole section here is dedicated to doing blends and erasing. So I even found that when people are doing their very first blend, they want to do it again. So you'll see I now have broken this into 2 blends, and I made the rectangle way smaller. So my method of blending is to start on the left, and then I fade away the color. These are going to be really fast pencils, by the way. Then I start light, go to heavy in the middle, and lighten back up again. My goal is to not have any lines or streaks and have it be kind of a seamless blend, and I will come back. I go all the way across, and then I come back and do it again to finish it off. I'm okay with the very first pass, especially when I'm testing. I don't feel like I have to fill it in all the way. Because I'm a light layering colorist, it does not bother me to see the tooth. I know I will go back. And by the second or third pass, oh, the tooth will be gone. This is also a good opportunity to find out on this first half, if you're a new colorist, you kind of figure out whether you are naturally a heavy-handed person, so you tend toward heavy layers, or if you're a light layered colorist. So for the summer, I had my June or July, the first week class, and then with the whole keto thing, what happened is Hub decided to join me on the journey, and that complicated the whole eating structure and made me up my game. So I have spent the second half of the month, post getting my tech equipment, figuring out how to cook keto for 2. I could go ahead and fill this all the way in, and I'll go heavy on the right side. So I'm going to start walking backwards. You can start all over at the yellow and work your way across, or I'm just going to work backwards. And I am at this point trying to fill in the tooth. So yes, I have been cooking for 2. It has been quite something. I had really good success, you guys. I follow instructions so well. Then Hub got involved, and I had to change my strategy because he doesn't eat lettuce, so salads were really out for him, and it made me cook more, and I have now had some fails. I need to make sure that I went far enough with this middle orange. There we go. I'm doing medium to heavy pressure. at this point. Then the middle of the month came. Middle of the month is when I do my one card making video a month that I do. It's very elaborate and it is long. It's very high production, lots of cutting, splicing, speeding up, totally different than how I do this channel, which is why I did this channel different, because I wanted to be able to offer for myself a break from very high production time spent, and also to be able to do real time. I really felt that I wanted to do real time coloring. No speeding up, no music. Oh my goodness, these are lovely, you guys. Are they lovely for $1 a pencil, $150 for the set? I think once the pricing of them, comes down a bit to where, like a Prismacolor, I have gotten Prismacolors for just under $100. Oh, did I mention these? I paid $99. I think it was $99 plus sales tax, so $106. And I have 2 sets of Prismas. I think I paid $113 for the first set, and the second set I got from Joann's, not when they were closing a couple years back, with a big coupon, and I think I paid $92. I think that these are really lovely. In comparison to the Prismas, they are every bit as lovely. So there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the erase test. I have my little eraser here. I'm curious if they have a staining factor, like the Prismas tend to stain. And I have not used my electric eraser, but I'm going to pause and go find it. I am back. I thought about pre-coloring this, but instead I would rather you see. This is these little squares are another opportunity for new colorists to practice filling in, and I gave 2 boxes for the exact same purpose of maybe doing one way, because maybe by this point you have not decided whether you are a light or heavy-handed person. So 2 boxes to fill in. Maybe you want to do multiple colors and see, I'm always curious about red and staining, and whether the red and blue are like the biggest staining colors to test. I will say I don't have a clipboard, and I'm seeing a wood grain here. I do have this wood grain on my desk. Had I known that it was wood grain, I would have picked something different for my purposes, because it does mean that I need to either grab, like, this is my swatch folder, so I don't get a pattern. So we'll try to keep this pretty short and stop here, and then I will come back for a part 2 where we do a little color. I'm going to go ahead and use the Scarlet. I would say I'm doing a hybrid medium heavy pressure, not even doing scrumbling. I see I'm doing lines. These are very forgiving pencils. They don't have to be perfect to fill in the tooth. Light fastness, there's probably the same colors that all of the pencils tend to fade. I am in Florida, so I'm not going to be doing a masterpiece to hang on the wall with these. These will be used for typical coloring projects. I might make cards with them. They are really fast. So if I'm doing card making, I go with alcohol markers because they're so fast, but sometimes I really want to use pencils, and like the Color are a great pencil to use because they're so fast, and these are also a great option. So we've got, do I have my hard eraser? Yes, I think I do. Maybe I do not. We're going to skip that. The 2 that I care about. How does the Mono Zero work? Does it smear? Yeah, so I was worried about that. This is why you do these tests, just so that you know how your pencils behave. So you've got these dominant colors, and I've got like the little blue nubs. And once you have smeared it, you can't get rid of it. Here's my electric. So, like the Prismacolors, they are very soft, and you're going to have to watch. Let's see if the red does the same behavior. I see more staining of the square. It's like a remnant of a kind of an orange color, where I saw beneath the blue was pretty white. So the red is going to stain, and that's okay. We just need to know. I do have one more, my emergency, mostly for card making. This mono sand eraser is good to try to fix mistakes on my cards. If I get some ink where it should not be. Let's come over here. Yeah, you gotta watch the smearing. See how that smudged right there in that corner. All these judgments doesn't make them a bad pencil. It just allows you to know what you're working with. I like that about them. One more quick pause. I found my hard eraser. This particular one, which is, it is Daler Rowney, which is an art supply. I think it's like a Walmart brand. Does not tend to smear as much, so that's nice. And then I also have my kneaded eraser that we use mostly to pick up pigment. I just want to see if I can pick up and just lighten up. See how you're seeing some tooth show through? Ooh, and that does a really good job. So sometimes I either want to knock back a color a little bit, or perhaps I even want to undo some of the layers because I want to add another color over the top. And once it's burnished, it's really hard to get color over the top typically. There are some pencils that do handle that function very nicely, and you can layer them forever. Really like how that worked. This blue is a little less inclined to pick up and make like a softening look. So wonderful pencils. Very happy with them. That's all I wanted to do with you today. I promised to show you some of my cards. I'm going to raise up a little bit. I have 3 projects I'm working on with you guys. I have acrylic markers that I have 1 fish left to do with a new set of acrylic markers that I bought. I bought a case for those acrylic markers because I bought the case for these. I will share with you the case. I went with solid. I have a lot. I don't collect like matchy-matchy. You've probably already figured that out. And so it's really what's the best deal and strikes my fancy. And this solid blue struck my fancy. It is a 200, so that gives me a lot of extra slots for if I add any extra bits. Maybe I want to keep some of my pencils off to the side for a project. I can store them in here. I find that I start projects and then need whip places to hold things, and I do have some containers, but I also like the idea of having extra slots in, like my 120 cases. I can't really hold any extra pencils over and above the 120. So I went with this size to give me that extra room. And what I worked on, I'm making cards like these. These are not colored. They're already pre-die cut. It's a kit, and this is from last year. I am a year behind, you guys, spending so much time coloring and not balancing well that I need to make myself work on these, because these are all going to get sold this winter at the market. And here is a doodled white gel pen, turning one of these over and using this as a stencil. And then my alcohol coloring is, I did cakes. I am completely wiped out of birthday cards and have lots of men in my family, so both of these are for giving by me, and then I'm going to be making a few more. And these are strip, we call these strip cards. They're just on a front. I haven't even put them on a base yet. And that's what I've been up to. So I will be coming back for part 2 of this, where we will be doing the rest of the tests on this page, and we will then do some coloring in Tiny Tales. So far, love the pencils. Big thumbs up. So do all the YouTube things: like, share, comment, consider subscribing. I hope you're all coloring, even though I'm not coloring with you. And we will get back to coloring soon. But before we do that, I will come back with a part 2. Everybody take care. I'll see you then.